Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. This is Rekha Venkateshwarlu, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government Degree College for Women, Nalgonda. So in the present lecture, now I am going to discuss about the topic Fundamentals of Magnetostatics Part 2. This is BSc Physics final year 5th semester Electromagnetism syllabus under the Unit 2. The contents of the present lecture are Introduction, Coulomb's inverse square law, superposition of two magnetic fields, neutral points. Then after we will cover the discussion of what is magnetic dipole and magnetic induction field strength on the axial line of magnetic dipole. After that, magnetic induction field strength on its equatorial line. After that, we will see the discussion of torque acting on a magnetic dipole when it is placed in the uniform magnetic field. After that, work done in rotating a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field and potential energy of a dipole in a uniform magnetic field. Lastly, we will see the concept angular simple harmonic motion of a dipole in a uniform magnetic field. In the last class, we discussed about the basics of magnetism. There, we covered the discussion of what is magnet properties. After that, magnetic movement and its applications. What is the magnetic flux and magnetic field strength, types of magnetic fields, properties of magnetic lines of force. Right. So, what is magnetic movement? So, before that, I'm writing this is a bar magnet, south pole and north pole. Bar magnet, in each magnet, the two poles have the equal pole strengths. Okay. The line joining the magnetic poles and passing through the center is called as what? Axial line or magnetic axis. The perpendicular bisector line passing through the center is called as magnetic equator or equatorial line. Magnetic equator. Right? Here magnetic moment, how we define this is the product of pole strength and length of the magnet. We write it as m into 2l into n cap. Right? Here the direction of m bar is from south to north pole along magnetic axis. Along magnetic axis. Right. So this is we covered in the yesterday's class discussion. Now let us see what is Coulomb's inverse square law. We know that like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. Like charges repel, unlike charges attract each other, right? So therefore, there exists either attraction or repulsion force between any two magnetic poles. The magnitude of that force is directly proportional to product of the pole strengths and inversely proportional to square of the distance. For example, you consider two magnetic poles M1 and M2 which are separated by the distance r. Okay. Suppose that these two magnetic poles are placed in the vacuum or free space. Then we write F naught proportional to M1 M2 by R square. Then F naught equal proportionality constant K M1 M2 by R square. Here K is the proportionality constant. That value depends on nature of the medium and the units we chosen. So here, in the case of free space or vacuum, in SI system, K value, this is equal mu naught by 4 pi M1 M2 by R square. This expression represents the force acting between two magnetic poles when they are placed in the vacuum or free space or K. If the magnetic poles are placed in other medium, then the formula is given by mu by 4 pi m1 m2 by r square, m1 m2 by r square. Okay, where mu is equals to mu naught to mu r. Mu is the permeability of that medium, right? Mu naught permeability of free space. Mu naught value 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Henry per meter, right? Relative permeability mu r is equal to mu by mu naught. So how we define it is the ratio of permeability of medium to permeability of free space. Mu r value for air or vacuum, mu r is equals to 1. So magnetic substances, we know that there are 3 types. For diamagnetic substances, mu r less than 1. For paramagnetic substance, mu r value is greater than 1 but smaller value. But whereas for ferromagnetic substances, relative permeability is very much greater than 1. It is about in hundreds. Okay, para, ferromagnetic substances relative permeability. Right, from equation 1 and 2, we can write F naught by Fm is equals to mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square by this one. Then you will get mu naught by, but mu is mu naught mu r, that equal to mu r. So from this, what we write, Fm is equals to F naught by Fm is equal mu naught by mu naught mu r, right? Mu naught by mu r. So Fm equal to mu r into F naught, mu r into F naught. So with this, we can conclude that the magnetic force between two magnetic poles is maximum in the presence of medium. That value equal to mu r times to the force acting between the same given magnetic poles when they are placed in vacuum or free space. So this Coulomb inverse square law we can express in vector form. M1, M2, these are the two magnetic poles. So here the distance between the magnetic poles is R, right? Then we write F bar is equals to mu naught by 4 pi M1 M2 by R square into R cap, where R cap is the unit vector along R bar. Here the force M1 exerts the force on M2. Similarly, M2 exerts the force on M1. These are equal in magnitude and opposite direction. So the force exerted by M1 on M2, we can write F12 bar equal to mu naught by 4 pi M1 M2 by R12 square into R12 cap. The force exerted by M2 on M1, you can write F21 bar is equal mu naught by 4 pi M1 M2 by R21 square into R21 cap, where R21 cap is the unit vector along R21 bar direction. Here F12 bar equal to minus F21 bar, right? So this is similar to action reaction pair, right? So this is about Coulomb's inverse square law. Now in the last class, we discussed about magnetic field and types of magnetic fields, right? So when we consider a magnetic dipole or bar magnet, the space around the magnet in which its influence is felt is called magnetic field, right? So in this, one is uniform magnetic field. The second type of magnetic field is non-uniform magnetic field. In the uniform magnetic field, magnetic induction field strength B bar constant at every point. In the non-uniform magnetic field, B bar is not constant at every point. It is not constant. that may differ either in magnitude or direction or both magnitude and direction. So accordingly, the magnetic lines of force in the uniform magnetic field are parallel and straight equidistant lines. In the non-uniform magnetic field, we have seen that there may be straight lines or the curved lines, right? So here, let us see uh, the superposition of two magnetic fields. Superposition of superposition of two magnetic fields. Superposition of two magnetic fields. Right. For example, uh, here I am showing this is the directions east, west, north, and south. Right. Now, when we keep a south pole of bar magnet is pointing towards the geographical north direction, then due to the superposition of bar magnet and Earth's magnetic field, the resultant magnetic lines of force will be like this. We know that the lines of force always start from north to south outside the magnet, right? Like this, outside the magnet. Okay. So here we can draw the resultant magnetic field like this. Right. We know this is the axial line of this bar magnet or magnetic dipole. Here on the on this axial line, on this axial line, there exist 2 points. This is the point 1 and point 2. I'm showing it as P1 and P2. There you can observe that no two lines of force are existing. Why? Because there the magnetic induction field strength due to the bar magnet and Earth's magnetic field both are equal in magnitude and acting in opposite direction. So on the bar magnet axial line, the magnetic field direction is always from south to north. So this is field due to the magnet. But the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field acts from geographical south to north. This is in the upward direction. Here also, magnetic field due to the magnet in the downward direction, BH direction in upward direction. So here, magnetic field due to magnet is equal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Since they are acting in opposite direction and equal in magnitude, the resultant field strength becomes zero at these 2 points. So these 2 points P1, P2 are called neutral points. Neutral points. Okay. But magnetic induction field strength on the axial line formula mu naught by 4 pi, mu naught by 4 pi 2m by r cube that equals to dh, where r is the distance of this neutral point from the center of bar magnet, m is the magnetic moment, right? M is the magnetism. Here we consider the short bar magnet, right? So the null point or neutral point can be defined as due to the superposition of two magnetic poles, the point at which the resultant field strength becomes zero. Hence, no magnetic line of force exists there. So at a neutral point, the number of magnetic field lines is equals to zero. Their resultant field strength becomes zero. At that point, the magnetic induction field strength due to the bar magnet should be equal to horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Okay, so this is one case. Now let us do the second case here. When a north pole of a bar magnet, north pole of a bar magnet is pointing, north pole of a bar magnet is pointing towards a geographical north pole, towards a geographical north pole, right? So here I am showing the directions east, west. This is north and south, right? To take the Bohr magnet north pole, it is pointing towards geographical north, and south pole pointing towards geographical south. Then the lines of force due to the resultant of two magnetic fields, that is the magnetic field due to the Bohr magnet and magnetic field due to the Earth's magnetic field, the resultant field will become like this. Hence, the mapping of resultant magnetic lines of force are oriented like this. From North Pole, always the lines of force will emit. At the South Pole, they reaches to the South Pole. Of course, these are the closed curves inside the magnet. They move from south to north. You should remember that magnetic lines of force always closed curves, but electric lines of force are the open curves. So here, like this. If you observe the point P1 and P2, there are no lines of force. What is the reason? So the line passing through the center and perpendicular to the length. The perpendicular bisector or magnetic equator is this one. On the magnetic equator at the points P1, P2, their resultant field will become zero, because on the equatorial line, due to the Bohr magnet, the field strength direction is always from north to south in this direction. This is field due to Bohr magnet. But the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field always geographical south to north, BH direction like this. This is the field due to the Bohr magnet. This is the field strength due to Earth magnetic field. So what we observed here at P1, P2 points, Bm is equal to Bh minus sign there. So where minus sign indicates they're acting in opposite direction. Hence the resultant field strength becomes zero there. Therefore, we are not observing the magnetic lines of force. Hence these 2 points P1, P2 are called neutral points. But the magnetic induction field strength on the equatorial line of your Bohr magnet, how much for a short Bohr magnet? Mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube is equal to minus bh. Using this, you can calculate m value, pole strength of the given Bohr magnet, because capital M equal to m into 2n, where r is the distance of this neutral point from the center to that one, r. Okay, so this is the superposition of two magnetic fields. The next concept is couple acting on a magnetic dipole when placed in a uniform magnetic field. When placed in a uniform magnetic field. Yes, let us see. So for this, you consider this diagram. This is a uniform magnetic field. Hence, I am showing the parallel and equidistant straight lines, right? In this, a Bohr magnet, that is nothing but a magnetic dipole, north pole, south pole, the length of magnetic length 2L, and the pole strength is small m. Okay, two poles have the equal pole strength, that is equal to small m. We know that the north pole strength, for a north pole, the pole strength is taken as positive. For a south pole, pole strength is taken as negative, right? So when the positive pole placed in the uniform magnetic field, then that experience the force M into B parallel to the field. When the negative pole, that is south pole of pole strength M kept in the uniform magnetic field, then that will experience the force parallel to the field. This is MB in this direction. So here at two different points on the bar magnet, two equal forces, that is MB, are acting in opposite direction and parallelly, right? So here angle between the magnetic axis, that is dipole axis, is making angle theta with the field direction. Okay. So due to these two forces that they constitute the torque, hence the couple acting on the bar magnet C is equal to any one of the force MB into perpendicular distance between the parallel forces. Between parallel forces. Okay, this is the formula between parallel forces. C is equals to MB into this perpendicular distance is this one. This is one force, it is one force. So perpendicular distance from this triangle, you can write sine theta equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. From that, you will get 2L sine theta. Okay, C is equal, this is M into 2L into B sine theta. C is equal, but small m into 2L is magnetic moment capital M, B sine theta. Capital M, B sine theta. This is the torque acting on the magnetic dipole when they kept in the uniform magnetic field of induction B. Vectorially, you can write it as C bar is equals to M bar cross B bar. M bar cross B bar. So therefore, the torque acting, which is perpendicular to both magnetic movement direction and the external field direction, is perpendicular to both M bar and B bar. So in this formula, you see when theta is equals to 90 degrees and B is equals to 1, then C will become equal to M. So with this, you can define the magnetic moment. How? When the bar magnet is perpendicular to the magnetic field direction of unit field strength, the couple acting on the bar magnet is equal to magnetic moment of that magnetic bar magnet or magnetic dipole. So the couple acting on a magnetic dipole, when it is placed in the external uniform magnetic field having the field strength unity, in the position perpendicular to the field direction is called as magnetic moment of that magnetic dipole. Okay. The next content is when the magnetic dipole is placed in the uniform magnetic field, how to calculate the work done? Work done in rotating a magnetic dipole from position theta 1 to position theta 2. So let us derive the formula for this, right? So this is external uniform magnetic field direction B bar, right? Okay. Now you keep the magnetic dipole or bar magnet in this. Here magnetic dipole axis is making angle theta 1 with the field direction. So to turn this magnetic dipole from this present angular position theta 1 to theta 2 position. So now the axis is making angle theta 2 with the field direction. So what is the work done? Here let us take for small angular displacement d theta, the work done we can write a d double equal to tau into d theta. But here we are rotating the magnetic dipole from theta 1 position to theta 2 position. Therefore, the total work done is given by integral theta 1 to theta 2 dw, that is called integral theta 1 to theta 2 tau into d theta, right? So W is equals to integral theta 1 to theta 2, but torque acting on the dipole, we have mb sine theta into d theta, right? So this is equal, here I'm writing the constant outside, mb integral sine theta d theta minus cos theta, and applying the limits theta 1, theta 2, we get mb into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. This is the work done in rotating the magnetic dipole from the position theta 1 to theta 2 in the uniform magnetic field of induction capital B. So here, when theta 1 is equals to theta 1 equals to 90 degrees, theta 1 equals to 0 degree, and theta 2 equals to theta, then what happens? Double equals to mb into cos 0 1 minus cos theta. That means what? First, initially, the bar magnet or magnetic dipole, which is parallel to the field direction. Here, theta 1 equals to 0. From the field direction to the direction or to the position theta, the work done, we are writing the formula. So this is the work done in rotating the magnetic dipole from field direction to the position where the dipole axis making angle theta with the field is given by mb into 1 minus cos theta. So in this, when theta is equals to, when theta equals to 90 degrees, cos 90 0, then double equals to m into b, right? For theta is equal to 180 degree, cos 180 minus 1 will get double equals to 2 mb. For theta is equals to, for another value, 0 degree, then double equals to cos 0 will get 0. So when the dipole is parallel to the field, no work done. That is we are observing here. In rotating the dipole from field direction to perpendicular position, the work done m into b. In rotating the magnetic dipole from the field direction to, so like this, opposite to the field direction, there the work done is maximum, that equal to 2 mb. Yes. So what is the potential energy of a magnetic dipole? Potential energy of a magnetic dipole in the uniform magnetic field, right? So potential energy of the magnetic dipole is defined as the work done in rotating from the perpendicular position theta 1 equal to 90 degrees to the theta position. Initially the dipole is perpendicular to the field direction, right? That is rotated from that position to the theta position with the field direction. Then that work done is equal to potential energy, that equal final, the how we write w theta minus w90 equal to, so here this is mb into 1 minus cos theta minus this is mb into 1 minus cos 90 is 0 equal to mb minus mb cos theta minus mb plus mb cancel, that equal to minus mb cos theta. You can write it vectorially as minus m bar dot b bar. So potential energy of magnetic dipole equal, this is the negative of the dot product of magnetic moment vector and the magnetic induction field strength vector, right? In this, you take the case when theta is equals to 0 degree, cos 0 1, then u equal to minus mb. This is minimum value. Minimum value. The possible minimum value, minimum potential energy value is minus mb. When theta equal to 90 degrees, then u is equal to 0, cos 90 0. For theta equal to 180 degree, cos 180 minus 1, then you will get U equal to plus MB. This is maximum potential energy value, right? In this case, when the potential energy is minimum, then that is the stable position. This is the unstable position. When the potential energy of the system is minimum, then that will has the stable condition. In the unstable condition, potential energy is maximum. So this is possible for when the dipole is opposite to dipole is rotated from the 90-degree position to the opposite to the field direction, 180-degree position. Okay, this is about potential energy of a magnetic dipole. The next concept we are going to discuss is simple harmonic motion. That is angular simple harmonic motion of a magnetic dipole when it is placed or suspended in the uniform magnetic field of induction B, right? So here, same, we draw the figure. When a magnetic dipole, simply a bar magnet is equivalent to the magnetic dipole, right? It is south pole, north pole, pole strength M taken as positive, here pole strength minus M, right? The field in strength is B bar. Okay. So now north pole, the force MB bar acting parallel to the field. On south pole, the force MB acting anti-parallel to the field, right? So due to the two equal and opposite parallel forces, so couple is acting on the bar magnet, then this dipole try to comes to the rest along the field direction, right? So here this dipole is suspended. It is suspended by means of a silk wire. See, then the deflecting couple I am writing, due to the couple acting on this, the deflecting couple C equal to MB sine theta. Already we discussed this. But due to the deflecting couple, the twist is forming in the thread or a wire, right, silk wire. Then the restoring, due to the restoring forces, the restoring couple R is equals to, that should be minus I alpha. When R equal to minus I alpha, we write that R should be equal to minus MB sine theta in equilibrium position. So in the equilibrium position, what? The restoring couple should be equal to deflecting couple. That is I alpha equal to minus MB sine theta. MB sine theta. Okay. But here theta is very small. For theta is small, we can take sine theta is nearly equals to theta. Then what we get? I alpha is equals to I alpha equal minus MB into theta. From this you write alpha that equal minus MB by I into theta, right? Here M is magnetic moment. This is external magnetic field strength. I is the moment of inertia of the bar magnet. You can write that is W into, that equal W into L square plus B square by 12. L length of the bar magnet, B breadth, W is the weight. Okay. Since M, B, I are constant, it is very clear that alpha is directly proportional to minus theta. So what is that? The angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is directly proportional to angular displacement and in opposite direction. So this is the condition required for simple harmonic motion. Since the condition of angular simple harmonic motion is satisfied, the relation between angular acceleration and theta, we have alpha equal to minus omega square theta for angular SHM. Okay, so now compare this equation 3 and equation 4. You can write omega square equal to mb by I, right? Then omega equal to root of mb by I. This is the angular frequency. But we require the time period of magnetic dipole in that uniform magnetic field. T equal to 2 pi by omega equals to 2 pi by substituting the omega value, will get root of I by mb. This is the time period of a magnetic dipole or bar magnet when it is suspended freely in the uniform magnetic field of induction. So frequency you can write from this. That is the reciprocal of time period. F is equal to 1 by t. F is equals to 1 by t, 1 by 2 pi root of mb by I. mb by I. So in this, what I'm saying is, in the magnetic dipole is suspended freely in the uniform magnetic field. So then that can execute angular simple harmonic motion. So then time period for that t equal to pi root of I by mb, and frequency f is equal 1 by 2 pi root of capital MB by I. So what is the summary of this present lecture? First, we discussed about the Coulomb's inverse square law. That is, the force acting between any two magnetic poles is directly proportional to product of their pole strength and inversely proportional to square of the distance, right? When the magnetic poles are placed in the vacuum or free space or air, then we have the formula F naught equal mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square. When they placed in other medium, formula Fm equal mu by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square. Okay, so this is the superposition of two magnetic poles. So here we are keeping the south pole towards the geographical north pole. Then due to the superimposition of two magnetic poles, so uniform magnetic fields, two magnetic fields, the resultant magnetic lines of force you can observe in the figure, that two neutral points we are getting on the axial line. So why we are getting the neutral points? At the neutral point, magnetic field strength due to the bar magnet, it will be equal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Okay. So this is when the south pole is pointing towards geographical south, or north pole of bar magnet is pointing geographical north. The resultant magnetic lines of force will be oriented as shown in the figure. There we are getting two neutral points on the equatorial line. So here also magnetic induction due to the bar magnet will be equal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field there. You should remember that at the neutral point, no line of force is observing. Okay. So this is about magnetic dipole. There are three diagrams you can observe. The first one is what? Bar magnet. The second one, the current carrying circular loop. The third one is earth magnet. We know that in the bar magnet, there exist two magnetic poles, south and north pole, which are having the equal pole strength. So when two equal and opposite poles are separated by some distance, that system is said to be magnetic dipole. Hence, the bar magnet is equivalent to a magnetic dipole. Similarly, the current carrying circular loop, it is also for a distant point, looks like a magnetic dipole. So one surface acts like a south pole, another surface acts like a another opposite pole, depending on the correct direction or observing direction. The third one, the earth magnet is also equivalent to magnetic dipole. Here, earth magnet south pole is towards the geographical north, and earth magnetic pole is towards the geographical south pole. Okay, so this is about magnetic field strength on the axial line and equatorial line of a magnetic dipole. On the axial line, magnetic field strength mu naught by 4 pi 2m by r cube. On the equatorial line, the field strength is mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube. You can observe one more point here is on the magnetic dipole axis, the field strength direction is parallel to capital M bar. On the equatorial line, the field strength direction is anti-parallel to M bar. And also the B axial bar direction is opposite to the B equatorial bar direction. Okay. After that, we cover the discussion when the magnetic dipole is placed in the uniform magnetic field, what is the torque acting on it? The torque formula C called capital M, capital B sine theta. You can write C bar equal M bar cross B bar, right? Where M is the magnetic moment, B a uniform magnetic field strength. Okay. Then after we covered the discussion of what is the work done in rotating a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field. That formula is mb into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Here first initially the dipole axis making angle theta 1. From that position to theta 2 position, the work done this formula represents, right? For different values theta 1, theta 2, you can write the W values. So that is shown in the figure. After that, we also covered the discussion of potential energy of the dipole in a uniform magnetic field. Generally, potential energy of the dipole is defined as the work done in rotating the dipole in the uniform magnetic field from the perpendicular position to the angular position theta. That value mathematically we write it as U equal minus mb cos theta, or in vector notation U equal to minus m bar dot b bar. Potential energy is scalar. Magnetic moment and magnetic induction field strength are vector quantities. The dot product of these two, m bar dot b bar negative value, gives the potential energy of the system. Here you have to notice that for theta equals to 0, potential energy is maximum. For theta equal to 180-degree, potential energy of the system of magnetic dipole is maximum. For theta equal to 0, potential energy is minimum. Okay. Next, we covered the discussion, this also. When the dipole is suspended in the uniform magnetic field, due to the couple acting on the magnetic dipole, deflecting couple C equal to mb sin theta. But due to the immediate response of the restoring forces, the restoring torque develops in the that wire or the thread. So therefore, in the equilibrium position, a restoring couple balanced by the deflecting couple. From that, we got the formula, that is time period. Time period of this magnetic dipole T equal to 2 pi by omega, that equal 2 pi root of I by mb. Here I stands for moment of inertia of the bar magnet, capital M magnetic moment, and capital B is the magnetic field strength of a uniform magnetic field in which the magnetic dipole is suspended. Okay, thank you.